Do you want me to check on Instagram?
Yeah.
Cool. Refresh. I do not see you live.
It says on Periscope we are live. On YouTube we are live. On Facebook we are live. Let's see if I can pull in the Instagram. And I hear an echo.
Echo is fixed now. Thank you.
Let me see. Yellow duck. Where's yellow duck? And
So do you have the chat up from everywhere else?
I'm pulling the chat up right now. Wow, we've got a great show for them. Huh?
How many people we got in the chat right now?
Let's see, it's pulling up here. Listen, you went from doing nothing to doing everything. Okay, I see it. Loading. Come on. The little caboose that could.
You can make it, I promise.
Right. All right, it's okay.
All right, did we make it?
Yeah, we made it. People are coming in.
All right.
Say hello to everybody in the chat.
Cool, and I will see if I can find us on Instagram.
I
cannot, but that's all right.
I'm working on Instagram here with Yellow Duck. Did they have like a new update or something?
I don't know. Yellow Duck is a kind of a dodgy program. I don't know if you've
It works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, they just, though, you could tell by the way it's written, like the fact that you have to give it your password, it doesn't have pass-through sign-in through Facebook. It's a little, you know what I'm talking about? Like normally you can just click your Facebook account and it authenticates.
Like integration, yeah, authentication.
Yeah. And not just for Instagram, Instagram, but any like authorized API, whatever partners. And Yellow Duck doesn't have that. So it's kind of sketch. Yellow Duck is clearly something that was smashed together to solve a problem, not like an elegant solution that was coordinated.
They still haven't coordinated. Like it's still just been smashed because it worked. So
Yeah. But we're live, right? It works right now, right? We got people in chat. We got questions. Who we helping? It's Hoodoo Help Desk.
All right, Polish My Pearl is on. There's a Facebook user that says hello. Hi everyone. There we go. Let me put our links in here. Moses, why don't you introduce the people?
Well, I'm checking us on Instagram one more time, and then I will focus on our kind audience. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Hoodoo Help Desk. This is our weekly Thursday where we happily answer your questions to give you your tips, your tricks, your ins and your outs of work and conjure on your own. You can ask us your questions. We have 2 rules. I'm so bad with rules, Doc.
I know.
Is we're not going to comment one way or another about anyone else's product. We can't tell you if it's going to work for this or that or how to combine it with anything. It's just outside our scope of, we don't know other people's stuff.
We also aren't going to be giving you any proprietary recipes or formulas.
That said, we will, at least I will, advise you on general, well-known stuff. We're happy to transmit to you, save you a bunch of time and a bunch of research headaches. Senor Doctor, have we any questions in the help desk? Because if I can't help no one with nothing.
Right, neither can I. So we got 5 people watching us, and okay, it looks like Instagram should be up in just a moment here.
Excellent.
Let's see.
And if that comes up, I'll go ahead and monitor the Instagram chat.
Let me edit.
Oh, there it is. I see us on Instagram. Just turn my
Oh, we're on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's not playing yet. It's the black screen.
Okay, yeah. So we're okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
All right. Well, what questions do we have coming up in the audience? I do have something to just give out off the top.
Yeah,
I want to wait till we're on all platforms. But a friend of mine reached out to me earlier this week, a good buddy of mine, Josh Hyde, and Josh said, "Hey man, I want to do like a very simple introductory, basic ritual with my family when they're over for Christmas. What would be a good thing to do, knowing that they're not they're open-minded, but they're from a more traditional spiritual framework. What would be a good way to integrate them that would be effective?" And so I have a ritual I put together for them, very basic, very inexpensive, household objects that literally anyone can do. And I'll share that with everyone once we're live everywhere. So, as Doc says, tell Lottie, tell Dottie, tell everybody. I'm going to give you a whole ritual that you can do it for yourself. You can do it with friends and loved ones. You can do it for the new year, or you can do it whenever. It's just good old-fashioned conjure work, and it works.
Do you see us live now on Instagram?
There will be a lag, so let me see. Let me tune back in. Check it. Yeah, we're live. You can't see us, but we're here.
The screen and everything is good. No black screen.
Well, you can't see us on the screen. That's why you have to do that rotated thing that I did. We're way too big. You only see kind of like one of my shoulders and one of your shoulders.
Let me put us in speaker mode.
Okay.
That may help.
Yeah, people are tuning in and tuning out because it looks silly. Sorry, everyone. As you know, we're growing pains to.
And we often say, if you would like to help, definitely let us know. We're open for interns.
Cool. Okay, the video is better. We are welcome Instagram now to Hoodoo Help Desk. As you know, this is our weekly show where we provide you the tips, tricks, insights, methods, and guidance in your own conjure practice. We'll go over the rules real quick. We won't comment or advise on anyone else's products because we don't necessarily know them. We won't give away any proprietary recipes, but we will save you a bunch of time and research effort in distributing, common knowledge, as it were, in the trade. With that said, I also did just promise I'm going to be sharing with you a ritual that a friend had asked me to kind of develop a ritual or help him develop a ritual to do with his kind of more run-of-the-mill, less spiritually experimental family over the holidays. And so we have that, and I'll be sharing that with you guys in a bit. But for now, it is Help Desk. Go ahead and hit us with your questions. What can we help you with? I forgot third rule. If this is a very specific case that's going to involve a lot of diagnosis, things of that nature, and we feel that divination is responsible, we're going to ask you to book a session because it's a private matter anyway. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be discussed in public to begin with. Go ahead.
Yes, those were our 3 of our 5 rules, but the other ones.
Dude, 60% is really good for me on rules.
Is that what you said? When you get stopped when you get stopped in the road for speeding? Is that what you said?
No, I just look at the cop and point to the coyote foot, and then
he's like, "Oh, why did you say so?" Right? While you guys are dropping your questions in, just want to let you guys know that we are, as you may have heard, if not, then here you go again. Our Hoodoo Academy is primed and primed for the 6th of January. We're actually sending out and collaborating with our speakers in the next few days as well, getting that nailed down. I'm still taking interest letters for scholarships. I have scholarships to review today and tomorrow, and getting you guys your access codes and coupon codes for that. And I do want to probably next week just have a show to announce all the awarded scholarships and their amounts. I just want to I thought about that. I was ironing my shirt this morning to do that.
I want to bring everyone back to your question the other day, Doc. Why have you not enrolled in Hoodoo Academy? Let us know. This is not a rhetorical question. This is something we want to know so we can make it better for everyone, more accessible to everyone. Is it a financial issue? We have generous tuition assistance available. just let us know. Is it a time issue? We have some solutions in place. We'll happily come up with other ones. We just need to know what you're working with. Is it an interest issue? I mean, it's a hoodoo class. If you don't want to learn hoodoo, don't come. I guess that's the one thing. That's the one thing. But other than that, like, this is absolutely a place for everyone. If you have no knowledge, if you have no background in this stuff and you're just curious, it's for you. Let us know and we'll work with you. And of course, drop your questions. I'm monitoring the Instagram chat. Doc is monitoring on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope.
And Periscope.
We got to get Twitch going as well. But we've got it all going. So this is Hoodoo Help Desk. Ask us your questions. Let us help.
Someone says they're listing while they are on eternal hold with the IRS. I guess you're on the phone.
Oh, you're going to be on a really long hold.
Oh, yes.
I'll give you that free divination.
Well, while people are knocking their keys on this, let's talk about some of our big news about our transition, from our exodus. Wow,
Yeah,
that's the word. Our exodus.
Yeah. It's something that we've reasoned on and discussed and formulated for a while now. I think, formally announced it really last night, but it has been an absolute blessing to be able to provide spiritual products for people for the past 2.5 years. I could not have imagined how many, just the sheer volume of people who would be benefiting and letting me know they appreciate it, from everything that I'm able to transmit. That said, after a lot of contemplation, it is not the model I want to pursue. The transactional nature of it, the one-off, solve a problem, but otherwise don't spiritually engage. It's not what I want to do. It's not how I was raised. It's not how the people that raised me were raised. So the solution is we start a congregation. I've spent a lot of time doing some calculations and estimations. If we can get a congregation going and the congregation can support itself, I can make as much as I've made, in terms of products and items in the past 2 years, and I can then distribute them for free to everybody in the congregation. But in terms of publicly selling stuff, that's not something I'm be pursuing after the end of this year. That said, clearance sale going on right now at Hoodoo Moses, 50% off at checkout. Just load up the cart, check out, boom. HoodooMoses.com. You can get there through my Instagram. But looking forward and looking with a great deal of enthusiasm, a phenomenal amount of positivity, and frankly, like a joy that I haven't felt in a while. I was weeping with joy last night when I saw the response to the announcement that I made. The support that you guys have shown has removed any doubt, of which there was a great deal.
There was. He had a great deal of doubt. He said, Doc, he said, I have faith, but
I mean, it comes with the name. Everything else comes with the name too, right? Moses does not believe the people are going to follow him. And standing up on the rock last night and seeing how many of you were like, yeah, let's go. I got the bag on my back. My heart.
But Moses came with signs and wonders, and that was a divine verification. And certainly in your ministry, I have seen, and I know everyone else, those who responded as well as they did last night, all because they're testifying to the signs and wonders that they've seen, and they're ready to come out of Egypt.
And that's where we're leading them. I believe this will work, especially after the show of support you guys made last night. I can't express strongly enough how much that's touched my heart, my wife's heart. The support you've given us for the past 2 years has changed our lives, changed the possibilities for our children. And I'm blessed and so grateful to even be able to have facilitated those things. this is what I've been called to do. I am so grateful for the respect you all have shown. I'm weeping a little right now.
Renee wants to know, she said, so my only question, she's my only question. She said, seen your announcement last night, thought it was a wonderful idea. My only question is, can I be a member of both House of Zion and the Temple, Holy Mountain Spiritual Temple?
Absolutely. I mean, from my end, you can be a member of any other denomination or congregation, and mine, it is not exclusive. My whole approach is you can get in as deep as you want. If you want to get in real deep, there will be some requirement for exclusivity if you're trying to be in the clergy, for example. But as a parishioner, as a community member, as a congregation member, as a participant, as a student, absolutely. There is no, there's no exclusivity requested or even offered.
Good and good. To just piggyback off of what Moses was saying, I've been working on different ways of congregations for a while now, and really it kind of hit home with my apprenticeship when I really started to notice that this was the soft spot I needed to be at. And actually, I told Oy last night, I've been telling my team since about November, and I started to tell my other platforms officially, but I'm pulling out everything. So Periscope, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I'm pulling out. This is my exodus. This is my get doc while you got them, because, we're moving to a whole other platform. We're building it, integrating a lot of things with it. I'm very, very excited about it. Talking most about it. He's excited about it. This is probably going to be the wave of, the beginning of the age of Aquarius for House of Zion. So you guys stay tuned. There's a lot of porting over material. Like I said, we're pulling content off of Gumroad. We're pulling content off of YouTube. So it's a massive overhaul. And it'll be available for congregation members only.
And I want to say one of the advantages to moving to this model, first of all, I want to put it out right now. We're not going to be asking astronomical sums of money to be in these congregations.
No.
It is very much a case of many hands make for light work. The more people who are enrolled in the congregation, the easier it is to hit our budgets. I'm personally working and talking today with people who have experience doing nonprofit stuff and know how to make this stuff work. Part of having multiple or really a whole spectrum of levels that people can engage in is, of course, they come with different financial contributions. For you spend more time working with us, pay a little more for the week. It's on a weekly basis. We really try to make it as manageable for people as possible. At least what we're doing, and I know Doc's working on a really similar model. I grew up in the synagogue. You know what I mean? My parents were both president of the synagogue. Like, I grew up with this stuff being discussed in my house. I'm doing everything I can to make it so I can give people everything I make just for the cost of shipping. And if we get 300, 400 people, the math really works out very easily. I'm talking about not only products and physical things, but webinars
and workshops and articles and survey courses. And, it would be.
Oh, and I don't let me leave out Sacred Scripture Circle, of course.
Oh, yeah.
If you enjoy, these things that we do live on Instagram every week, they will be there, and they will be included. And of course, all the teaching, the archive of everything we've done, all the recordings, at least on my side, that's included. Everything. The focus for me is, and I've spoken relatively publicly about it, but I was drained at the end of this year in reflection, and reflecting on the year and why and how I became drained and when I became drained. I became directly correlated to how many packages I shipped, to be completely honest, how many trips to the post office I took, how many envelopes I was going through. And so it wasn't the spiritual work, but I couldn't muster as much spiritual energy as I'm accustomed to, as I want to. And I realized it wasn't the time. It was the fact that there was no communion, right? I should say, in many cases, you guys come here and interact with us on these live things, and that is communion. You know, if you're asking questions, even watching lessons, you know, that is communion. But in many cases, people have a problem, they purchase a solution, and you know, that's the end of transmission. And that energy doesn't come back. The loop is open, and there's lost energy there. And that's what inspired this model, because I contemplated why the ancestors didn't have this problem. You don't read about this stuff in the Bible or see, you know, doctors of various indigenous tribes saying like, I'm burnt out. I can't, I got to take a couple of weeks off. Because there isn't this closed loop. And so this leads to the other thing that I will be introducing is prayer, weekly prayer, daily prayer for those who are inclined. I pray every day. I encourage everyone to. I won't require anyone to, but weekly prayer, meet and pray as a community, put intention together, and monthly rituals as well. We're really doing everything we can to provide a comprehensive spiritual experience. And it starts online. That is the foundation. That is sort of the best way to reach everyone. But absolutely, there's a physical component. There's obviously the tangible goods. And, you know, my temple is literally portable. 2 people can pack the whole thing, you know, the walls, the floor, everything in a vehicle in about 4 to 6 hours and set it up in about the same amount of time. That's the intention. That's what we'll be doing. This one's pretty small, especially with social distancing rules. So bigger ones and more of them, and traveling, bringing people together, empowering people spiritually, and giving them the resources they need to do it, and the inspiration. That's what we're betting on being something that people believe in. And so, you know, let me know, smash some emojis in the chat or something if you're with that. Doc, I'm sorry, I took this like somber crying.
No, this was good. No, this is exactly where I wanted to go, because for me, I was talking to Natalie about this, that, you know, pushing, letting people know. I don't want to be like, where did Doc go all of a sudden? You know, I want people to know that there is Egypt and there's Canaan, and there's about to be a mass exodus out of the house. And, you know, he might not say what I'll say, out of the house of bondage. Out of the house of bondage. It's so interesting when you said Moses on the mount, on the rock, it just clicked it for me that this is the mass exodus. There's a scripture that says, come out from among them and be ye separate. And I shall receive you unto myself. And I think that for some people, you know, that very capitalistic, consumeristic model, it's, you know, you just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you lose more. I'm gonna tell you what I said to Oya yesterday. I said, you know, business-wise, you just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, you get bigger equipment, you hire more people, you start getting larger wholesale accounts, you get bigger, and then before you know, you wake up and wonder how you became Lucky Mojo.
That's, you know, I reached the point where I had 2 choices, straight up. For me, I'm at the maximum capacity of what I can do and make. And so the choice became either I continue to meet demand, which means let someone else make stuff. And then that's a slippery slope to having a bunch of interns coming in and making everything look like Mojo. Or I can change it. And that's how this happened.
We have a few questions here. V12ATL said, how would I get my question to you, Moses? Because I asked one earlier, or I can just DM it to you.
You could ask it here if you want, or you can, I'm not checking DMs right now. I will check them sort of this evening, tonight. After this, I gotta go back to packing stuff. Surprise. You can ask it here if you're comfortable. If it's a private question, you can just email Moses at Hoodoo Moses, and Solomon will work on booking you a session if it's, you know, something like that, or just ask it here. Yeah, whatever's clever.
And Ms. Cookie says, Doc and Brother Moses, can you let us know the best way to join the congregation?
So in my case, I will be formally rolling that out in March. Right now it is, we're really trying to plan it and have it robust. I don't want to be bootstrapping it when people are coming in and joining. But for me, that'll all be available through my Instagram. My Instagram is going to remain to be a portal to all that stuff. And the best thing right now is sign up for my email list. Go to my bio and sign up for the email list. It's the top link. Or you can scroll down to the temples link and sign up through there. But either way, sign up for the email list, and then you will definitely know everything you need to do. Those will kind of be the first people notified even before the public announcement. So the exact platform we're going to use on my end is still kind of being figured out. We're trying to find the best things in terms of how to organize it. But Doc has a very robust like backbone community platform. So I'm definitely going to be using that. But in terms of how we onboard everyone, I'm still working out. But yes, that it will all be through my Instagram. Sign up for the mailing list. And many people have asked what they can do to help. Certainly awesome. Go take advantage of the clearance sale. All the financial support helps. More importantly, for the next 2-3 months till I make the shift, tell people about Sacred Scripture Circle. Tell people about Hoodoo Help Desk. Let your friends know, the people, especially for people who are interested in Holy Mountain. If you have friends who are like, well, I'm open-minded, but I just don't know about that. Tell those people. I want to reach and empower people, especially who are just beginning every stage of your spiritual journey. Really, I hope to just facilitate people's spiritual journeys. Sorry, Doc. I'm on my soapbox today. I'm on the mountain.
No, it's good. It's good. Now, V said that she asked it earlier in the chat.
Oh,
please repost. I don't see it here in the chat. There's a question here from Miss Diva Light that says, "What rituals do you suggest for the 21st of December?"
I am not touching that one. So like I was just talking to Sasha last night. She's like, "It's not the age of Aquarius. That's not what this is. It's a big misunderstanding. It's astrologically incorrect." And I'll publicly make that attribution and that retraction. I know what I have said about it is because as I understand it, the exact reckoning of the age of Aquarius differs depending on source. And I have heard many sources, at least when I was reading shit, when I was a kid reading it, or even as a young man, that put it in the 20th century. And what I have said, and this is my exact thinking on it, is these ages are vast periods of time. Mm-hmm. And their ingress is progressive. It's not like a sudden. And, just like a retrograde, right? Like there's a shadow period. You drift into the maximum effect. And we are, only 1% into this, less than 1% in this very, very long thousands of years age. That said, this particular great conjunction occurs at a time or in such a way that will trigger off the Aquarian vibes. This is not, again, and if you follow what is apparently the much more educated astrological model and much more up to date, that transition doesn't happen for another 500 years. But even those folks agree, even if it's not a change of age, things are going to get pretty fucking Aquarian for at least 200 years, at least the rest of our lives. So buckle up, we're going. Whether it's a change of age or whether it's just the rest of your life Aquarian as fuck. So that said, rituals. It's also the solstice is the thing. So what I practice on solstice in general is the quenching of fires. On the solstice eve at sunset, you put out all your fire. You can go even down to the hot water heater and the stove burner. My wife doesn't like that, so I don't know that I'm doing that anymore. But all your lamps, all your candles, and then with the sunrise on the next day on the solstice, you ignite a new fire in the temple or outside and bring it into the temple, or if you're working at home, you just light a candle, a 7-day candle, and from that you relight all the fire of all your candles, and you really try to run that fire the whole year.
And we do that. Do you do that with the we would take this cotton, okay, and a magnifying glass.
That's proper. You do that?
Yeah.
You light it with the sun? Yeah, that's the right way to do it, is light that with the light.
But I don't do it on, the only solstice I do mine on is in the one in June.
The summer.
Yeah.
Take the summer. Well, that makes sense. You're taking the summer sun. But yeah, that catching the actual, lighting your fire with the sun is the ideal. Next best is kind of lighting it in the rays of the sun, in that lighting it with another source. But yeah, if you can, that's awesome, Doc. I'm glad you brought that up and added that. So with that said, and it being also the issue is the transition, the conjunction happens at like 6:30 a.m. here, so it doesn't exactly minute for minute time line up with the sunrise, but very close, at least here. So you could add an additional element of sort of quenching specifically. I would quench the fires with the waters of Pisces and let them flow away. And then, in starting your fire, use a air source, a wind source with the air of Aquarius the next day. You could incorporate astrological symbols. You can, there's all kinds of, get as creative as you want.
I had a book once I read, I still have it. I forget who wrote it. Cavadera, I think. But it was a great book. My goddaughter told me when she got married, she wanted me to use the riches in that book for her wedding. But it gave like how to do astrological marriage rituals. And it was very, very nice, actually. The rest of the book was bullshit, but that part right there was very, very nice. Like one of the rituals was that, so you had the couple, right? And like the bridemaid and the best man, all of them, they would gather around with certain objects, right? And they would represent the 12 zodiacal signs. They would bless that couple with an attribute of those signs. So they went, circling around them. Or if you didn't have that many, then you would have like the 7, they would have to set like the 7 planets. And they would bless that couple with something and give them a blessing. And it was really, really neat and nice.
I like that a lot. I really like that. And so, yeah, you can absolutely incorporate, as a really easy way. You can get complex with it, but, speaking to the governing planets, right, is and working with them and the Orphic hymns to those planets.
Yes.
Totally burning incense to them, Orphic hymns, totally easy and effective.
In the Picatrix, there's something called the planetary petitions. And obviously, if you want to be like very, very specific and, get it like really, really, really right, obviously look at the Picatrix for all those details. But you can dress in a form akin to the planet, stand in the incense smoke, put the brazier under you, face them in the east or what have you, with your petition. Of course, beginning with an Orphic hymn, closing with an Orphic hymn. Yeah.
I've been I guess just by the situation, it's winter, so my jeans are like real tattered, and my coat has been through many a winter, and my temple cold and dark. My lights burnt out, my super bright ones because I plugged something into it. But it's Saturn and I get along great, in the current modus. Sitting there, torn clothes, cold on the floor in the dark.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can get it. He'll give you his respect for a second, hear you out.
As he passes over, yes.
Yeah, you seem like my kind of guy.
What's your so I can put it in the chat, what is your temple website?
So it is, I think it's hmtemple.org. You can definitely my Instagram.
hmtemple.org.
Oh, you know what, Doc? Just give him my link tree.
I put that in there already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my link tree has all that stuff. Definitely has the temple stuff. So thank you everyone in Instagram chat. Sorry, I haven't been looking at my phone. But let's get questions going. It's help desk. Not
Yeah, was there any questions in the Instagram chat? I'm putting in my church website here at ziontemple.org. Bear in mind, it's still bare bones. We're still working through some things.
Oh, likewise on that for sure. There's a reason we're not launching until March. But yes, you can definitely kind of dive in and explore. So
nobody has any questions?
No, I guess no. Everyone just wants to hear the tea. Nobody has any Hoodoo Help questions. Or maybe they're like, well, I'm going to join the congregation. I'll get everything I need there. So we're good.
Yeah. Or I'm going to join Hoodoo Academy. I'll get everything I need there too. So maybe we're going to make Hoodoo Help Desk obsolete.
Let's see what we got here. What type of work would you do for the Great Conjunction? Like, what would you recommend one to do? Oh, I swear, I just talked about that. So work. I mean, here's
you just said so.
Here's what it comes down to. No matter how big a lever you're going to stick in there, it's a toothpick to these giant gears. The best work you can do is on yourself to prepare yourself to align for the change that's coming, to accept the influences that will be bearing down, and to let go of the things that no longer suit the condition. Any work that you can do to facilitate that is great work to do. But trying to influence the planets or the course of things or anything like that, no, that's just shooting peas at the tank. You're not gonna do anything. So we got, can protection and money working be done on ancestor altars? No, I do it there. For yourself, that's where you go for that stuff. If it's for other people, certainly there's precedent in a lot of traditions to keep something separate for that. The other traditions is the opposite. So what do you got, Doc? Any questions over yonder?
Yeah, so they said, we like the tea. Let the tea keep coming. We want more tea. No, but also says, Ms. Cookie says, we're coming upon a new year. Are there any rituals, offerings we should incorporate as we enter to 2021?
Yeah, and I got
there's so many different new year.
I got that ritual tradition in a little bit. I also got some questions coming in too. Yeah, I'm going to give a ritual, really like simple but powerful ritual you can do by yourself or with others in a little bit. I'm just going to finish the questions on Instagram chat here. Do Hoodoo Enchantress, so basically cleanse out the old and negative energy and set intentions for the new year coming? No. Well, like kind of, but know that there are changes coming to the whole world based on this shift, right? The Saturn and Jupiter meeting in Aquarius will have impact for 200 years, which is the rest of our lives, which is a heavy Aquarian and Saturnian nature. I feel like we can't really go into great detail about it now, but expect a lot of crazy, artificial. I saw today the most Aquarian thing I've ever seen. U.S. military has just greenlit an artificial intelligence fighter jet. So it is a robot-controlled death in the air with no human element whatsoever. That is probably the most Aquarian thing that has ever existed yet. So it's just the beginning of that kind of shit, of systemic change, structural change, especially around money and things like that. So be aware, be prepared. Power in the world, dominance in the world will shift in terms of what nations are in power. And there will be resulting consequences of that economically and on and on. The gears keep turning, and it's best to find our place in them. And I would say study the meaning of the conjunctions. Take some time to really research it, of the 20-year conjunction and the 200-year conjunction. And in examining that, I would say see where you think things are going to change, how things are going to change, and how you should change to fit that better. What I can say in terms of Pisces moving to Aquarius, it's going to be a lot less personal out there in the world. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start a community. But I think this is an Aquarian community. It's dispersed. It can be anonymous if you want. You could 100% participate anonymously and things of that nature. Look more into the difference between Pisces and Aquarius. Look more into what Aquarius means. Look more into the traits of Saturn and the virtues of Saturn, what Saturn likes and doesn't like, and explore that and explore and reflect on those things. I would say that's a really effective and practical thing to do. Any other questions? Okay, so in terms of doing protection work or what was the other word? Money work on your ancestor altar, saying you can't put photos of live people, can you put name papers on altars? No, you don't want to put them in your ancestor altar. Listen, if you're doing protection work at your ancestor altar, just pray directly to your ancestors to protect you for whatever. You don't have to do workings. Workings move spirit, but your ancestors can move spirit too. Your prayers and your words move your ancestors at least as effectively as workings. Doc, do you have anything to add to that? I'm sorry. I just kind of ranted for a while, man.
No, my opinion about work and ancestral altars.
Please share. I'm going to pull up that ritual, by the way. So I'm going to be tuned out of Instagram. So Instagram questions are going to be ignored for a little bit. Sorry, Doc.
Well, and we'll go into this more into Hoodoo Academy about altars and venerations and so forth, spiritual courts and spiritual frames. Personally, I don't do work for anybody else that's not a blood relative on my ancestral altar. Number two, by work, I don't even mean like probably what you think like rituals per se. Much like Moses said, they're just conversations I will have with my ancestors. Now, I don't put pictures of folks on there. But that's not true. That's not true. So the way my ancestral altar is set up is I have like picture frames, okay, and there are also pictures on the wall. So that means that all the pictures are basically vertical, okay, in one capacity or another. Now, when I'm working on a situation that applies to me or my bloodline or my blood relatives, normally I've said this before a lot in Hoodoo Bible study with the name paper trick, okay? And you just literally write down in like a short pithy phrase what you need, just the real bare bones of it, okay? It can be like I need a bill paid or whatever, light bill due $300, whatever the case may be. Maybe somebody in your job that's really, bothering you, keeping you from progress. Just put their name on that piece of paper, fold it up, or you can leave it laid out, and then put the glass of water that your ancestors drink from on top of that. All right. And they will deal with that as best they see fit. That's the thing. You don't want to put a petition paper on there. You don't want to kind of coerce them or influence them anyway. It's kind of, hey, here's the issue. Y'all do whatever you want to do with it. And they will take care of it. They will take care in a way that's most aligned with their agenda for you. That's pretty much kind of the most type of working, if you will. I
would only add, I mean, 100%. That's basic petition, bare bones petition.
Yeah.
And then, a nice offering, depending on who your people are, either up front or after they come through.
And I believe that one's command on a petition should be like 6 words or less. If you're doing like something like that, yeah, because if it takes more than 6 words, you haven't thought it out anyway. You're elaborating more than you need to. You can really concise everything you need to get done in a 6-word sentence. And if you can't, it's because you haven't even sat down long enough to think about the matter you bring it before them.
And I would say 100% when it comes to ancestors in that regard, because you got to think about it like a kid going to a parent, right? That's talking to an ancestor type thing. You're not going to them for help implementing a solution. You're going to them with the problem.
Right.
They are to either counsel or intervene. They may just counsel, right? But they may intervene if they see fit. And you have to trust your ancestors to do that. And so therefore, you should just be able to clearly state the problem. So-and-so is doing this, that's it.
There's another question here. Anything you can provide on corn husk dollies? Is it the best doll I can do for myself? Does it have to be baptized? And what's the do's and don'ts should I consider?
Hoodoo Academy, Hoodoo Academy, Hoodoo Academy. You get a Hoodoo.
And January 6th Hoodoo Academy.
Yeah. Well, that's not actually the January 6th one, but you start there. I will just say this: cornhusk is not necessarily the best dolly, the only dolly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's some reasons why you might want to use cornhusk. The main one being you live in a place where there's a lot of corn. And then a cornhusk dolly would be the best bet. If you live in a place with a lot of rope, I'd go rope dolly. The advantages are, like with all dollies, you can load them. You should load you for them to work. You must load them. You must fix them. You must consecrate them. You must baptize them. You may need to quicken them. You may need to empower them. That's all stuff we talk about. What those things mean is beyond the constraints of our conversation here, but that's why we have 3 hours on these things twice a week, plus a guest speaker every week in Hoodoo Academy. So short answer to your question, yes, you got to do all those things. Don't skip those things. The don't would be don't skip those things if you want it to work. That's what I got. What else you got, Doc?
She said, yes, question, sign up for the inaugural class of Hoodoo Academy. The other question here from V12 is, any good money drawing verses I can incorporate in my ritual?
Oh, yeah. I mean, depends what kind of money drawing you want to do. I got to point you, since Money Mastery Bootcamp is not up yet. I think the ebook's like $5 right now. Right? Just go to my site and get the ebook because it's got all the verses and all the workings and all that stuff. But depending on, tell me a little more. This is the only time I'm going to ask a question, clarifying question. Tell me a little bit more about your money drawing situation. Is it a hot or cold situation? Are you looking to build fast cash or wealth? Do you know? And if not, start there. Psalms 23 is just use Psalms 23, especially prepare a banquet before me, before my enemies, and you anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. That's just, I would work that. I say that every day. That's like my fourth most said prayer. Specific verses we can get into, but again, they're all in the ebook. Doc?
Yes. We have a whole module on scriptural source.
Well, that's the other thing in Hoodoo Academy. If we're going to be straight up, yeah, there is 3 hours of us just dumping verses for this, verses for that. So there's also that if you want to.
Right.
And I don't think announced publicly. You can take just one module. You won't get the certificate of completion.
That's the other thing we have to talk about. Yeah, that we slightly touched on it last week, but offering of the day passes.
Yep, you'll be able to just sign up for individual modules. It will, if you're going to take, I think, what do we figure? If you were going to take like 11 of the 20 something things, it would be much more cost effective to just enroll. But
yeah,
if there's only 1 or 2 things that you're looking to get into, you'll be able to do that too.
Someone from Facebook, because Facebook does not show who this is through Restream, unfortunately, but it says the Facebook user wants to know, would you say it's okay for a person to do head work on themselves?
I would say it's a risky way to do something that could be done another way. Depending on what I guess if you don't mind sharing more about the situation, I'll be able to give a more specific suggestion as to what might be a better way.
Yeah, when you said head work, what do you clarify that? You're gonna be a head watching, or you doing like an effigy on yourself, etc. Miss Cookie said, V12 said, okay, I will go get your ebook, but honestly, I'm trying to get that tuition up God forgive me, please. Just, if you are a descendant of enslaved Africans in America, certainly, good grief, certainly, I'm telling you, I'm praying in tongues all day. Certainly reach out to me for scholarship while they're still open. We'll be taking them for the end of the week. We might extend till next week because we're really, really, really pressing for time.
And I'll say this, if you're not, and you have an urgent financial need, and you sincerely and legitimately and truthfully want to do this, and we'll give it the attention that it merits, reach out to me, and we'll come to an agreement.
Miss Cookie said, I just looked at the option for Hoodoo Academy. They are, by the way, let me put that in the chat here where you guys can go. www.hoodoo.academy. Hoodoo.academy.
Yep.
There we go.
Boom. Look at the options and drum roll.
Oh yes, look at the options for Hoodoo Academy. They are affordable. What's the deadline?
As late as possible, we're going to try to do this. I hope to, first of all, those options will be adjusted tonight because those were calculated like a week ago. So it's only going to get a little bit more expensive because it's going to go from however many payments it is to one less than those. So they're each going to be like $5 or $10 more. That's number one. Number two, the deadline, I feel like we can extend it till New Year's Eve, till January 1st, but we really need those to be able to get everyone the materials and make sure everyone can connect and stuff like that and have those everything together. We're going to need to shut it off then. So
we're speaking with the presenters like this week at the latest, next week at the latest. So,
and we'll be producing, more information on that. I don't know if I even uploaded all the module information to the website yet, but I will. I'll make sure I do that actually when we get off here. All right. I have to hop on this call to cover some temple matters, but I want to give that ritual. Do we have any more questions to clear out the queue before then, or that clarification that I asked for on the headwork?
Nope.
Okay, then ritual it is. Let me pull up my messages with Josh Hyde. All right. For this one, I need you to get however many people you're doing it for.
Okay, this person says, how do we reach out about financial assistance for the Hoodoo Academy? I'm really interested, but lost my job due to COVID in September. Haven't been able to bounce back to afford this right away.
So first of all, I will give you one good news that I believe a stimulus is coming. I have more prolific thoughts on that, but I'll leave it there. So hopefully there's some cash coming to you. Number two, if you are attending enough shows, Africans in America, reach out to Doc via the link in his bio, actually, right? Go to post that link. If it's me, just email moses@hoodoomoses.com and in the subject put Hoodoo Academy Scholarship, and I will send you a link from there. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this ritual now. So for everyone who is involved, right, or for whom you are doing this, you'll want one white candle. I was not speaking in tongues earlier. I just can't talk. One white candle, and you guys know I just use the basic Shabbos candles. You will want salt, sea salt, just a cup or whatever. That's actually way more than you need. Like a quarter cup is plenty. A small bottle of pure olive oil. I like the Pompeo brand. And so first you want to bless the salt. I write my own stuff based off the Roman rite, the Catholic ritual. If you dig that stuff, you can do it right out of the Roman rite. You can modify it to your own practice, but it's very comprehensive, including the exorcism and the blessing of the salt. But that's what I recommend. So you want to bless the salt because you use that to bless the oil. Then you want to bless that bottle of oil. Again, you can use the Roman rite. You can just Google Roman Catholic rite blessing oil or salt, and you'll find that. And then I want you to write your intention. You can do this by yourself, or you can do this collectively if you're doing it as a group. Take slips of paper, prepare them as name papers for yourselves on one side, and then write your intentions or petitions on the other side for the coming year, and put those in the olive oil. Okay, and you want to keep that bottle of olive, put the olive back, put it all, keep it all in the bottle, and wrap that up in a white cloth or cover it in a white cloth. And every day, pray over that olive oil. You can pray Psalms in general, or you can pray the Psalms appropriate to your intentions, or you can just pray earnestly from your heart with feeling that your intentions be fulfilled. You can shake the olive oil. Don't be violent with it. You can burn candles on the bottle. Be careful if you have it wrapped in a white cloth. You can, and this would be an exception to the white cloth thing, which you would place it on a white cloth. You can prepare this oil by setting it as a lamp and burning that lamp with all this stuff in it. You could fix this with herbs and roots and all kinds of odds and ends, but the salt, the oil, the blessing, that's what matters. That's the focus of this. This is fundamental conjure. And do that for 9 days. Bless it, pray over it, etc. If you're setting it as a lamp, keep it lit. If you are burning candles on it, burn a candle on it every day, whatever your approach is. Everybody who's going to be involved, you have a candle for them. And if they're so inclined, have them prepare the candles, meaning carve their full name and date of birth in it, or if you want to do it, but prepare a candle for each person. Anoint the candles with the oil. Then, so when you're doing your ritual, anoint the candles with the oil, set them someplace safe to burn together, and start now with a big 7-day candle, presiding over the whole thing. Light that first with the kind of group prayer or invocation with everyone together. Even if you did everything else, if you wrote individual petitions for everyone and carved candles for everyone yourself, that's fine. But when you light the big candle, just let everyone deliver, it could be a very basic Happy New Year, right? It doesn't have to be complicated, almost a toast. If that's the least you can get. If you can get earnest prayer, all the better, right? And light that candle as a group. And you can get all fancy with it where you have everyone have a candle and collectively light the big candle together, and then extinguish those individual candles and then light from the big candle. But you could take it where it feels right for the people who are with you. And then from that big candle, have each person light their white candle and just set them to burn together, with your... Either you can do that on your ancestor altar. That would be sort of an ancestor altar working I would do, because it is just your family. You're all doing it together. And the intentions are very focused and specific in it, but open-ended enough for them to work. Or you just set that in kind of like whatever your holiday display is, whatever your hearth or your, the emotional, spiritual center of your home. So that's what I got for you guys. That's a, New Year's, Christmas, family group, very entry level, but unbelievably. I mean, I'd love your feedback on that. I almost want to resubmit that as my my master's thesis doc.
I love the simplicity of it. I love the, as you said, beginner, not intrusive. We don't have to have colored candles and the, as you said, all the bits and odds there. I love it. And it's very easy to make that into a family tradition.
That's what he had asked for. He said, I want something that we can do every year, and I want to be able to include everyone. And that's kind of where I thought, at the bare minimum, if you believe in anything, even just getting along with the family, you'll do that. That's not too much to ask. And again, you can do it in such a way where, you've carved the candles for everyone. And you don't have to mention there's any purpose to that. It's just like, I was keeping track of everyone, making sure I had one for everyone. And you can prepare the oil. And, if your family is either extremely secular or honestly, I think this works for a very, a very not by the book. I don't want to say that. A very, by our take, we're confused about the book, Christian family. It's a very compatible, approachable ritual, especially in Christmas, a holiday of lights, where the lighting of candles and the setting of lights is fairly universal. Whether it's Christmas or Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, it's a season where we set lights. Diwali.
Miss Cookie said, what do you do with the paper?
The paper is going to go in the bottle of oil.
Okay.
And you're going to pray for 9 days with that paper in the oil. Now, bonus if you can get like an oil soluble artist's pen or marker, because then the petitions will actually bleed out into the oil. But then the oil will be a little black, and your guests,
You'll wonder what is.
Yeah,
this
depending
black
on
oil?
the mindedness.
Very good. Well, as always, Moses.
An oil. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. As always, Doc. As always.
Thank you so much for gracing us with these past few weeks of doing Hoodoo Help Desk. You've definitely added some breaking of the monotony. Let me just hear my old crony voice. So thanks again. And we just want to say, I want to say apologies about last night. Those of you who were awaiting the movie night. I did not get back in time. That's on me. Apologies about that. We are scheduled for next week, Wednesday. Friday, Prophetic 360 Friday will be rescheduled for next Friday. So we look forward to seeing you guys.
And then everything else, next week, everything back to regular scheduled program, basically, right? We got Sacred Scripture Circle on Monday, Hoodoo Movie Night on Wednesday, Hoodoo Help Desk Thursday, Prophetic 360 Friday, back to Monday. But soon to shift to our private congregations and our other platforms to the promised land, as it were, and B, around Hoodoo Academy, which will be Mondays and Wednesdays during the day. So I think it may or may not affect Hoodoo Movie Night, I guess. Sacred Scripture Circle will continue. Oh, it'll be Fridays too. Will it affect Prophetic 360?
Well, Prophetic 360 ends this year, because next year it'll only be for the private congregation.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. Sweet. So problem solved. Sacred Scripture Circle will be public until February, Marchish, till we officially open.
Port it over.
Doors.
Yep. So we've come out of Egypt land.
Well, you know what happens before we get there.
Right, I know. You gotta wander around the mountain for 40 years.
Well, and then at the end, I never make it.
Well, you have your Joshua's and your Caleb's and those.
I got to talk to the Rock, man. I just got to. Well, Doc, when that time comes, I need you to arrest me and say, Moses.
No, we're not repeating this again.
Talk to the Rock. Put the stick down.
Yes, put the stick down, Moses.
Put the stick down. All right, guys, thank you very much. This one's been really special. I'm going to try to rip this and cross-post it to my channel. Also, it looked like TV with the blurry background and the lighting and all that on this end.
Yours did. My camera wasn't working too well.
Gotta get that fixed up. All right, Doc, I will catch up with you later. I'm going to get on this call, and God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in.